violently slapping the ground and then jumping up in the air and screaming at
That's accurate.
everything.
The first half of the dance, I didn't know anyone. I was asking a couple people, and that made me feel so welcome.
Smashing out the answers today.
You can be excited about someone else's successes while also still allowing, the disappointment for your own expectations. You're connecting to another human, and you guys get to create something that has never been done before.
Okay, hello and welcome back to Swing Content, the Affinity Swing podcast about West Coast swing. Today I have with me the amazing
Casey Margules.
Cool. Could you introduce yourself for me, Casey?
Absolutely. My name is Casey. My last name is Margules. I'm from Minnesota, and in case you don't know how to pronounce it, imagine for a moment that I gave you this big tub of goo, and it's sloshing around, and you're really excited about it.
Yeah.
But actually, I don't trust you anymore, so I ripped it out of your hands, and suddenly you're gooless, Margules.
Brilliant. I hope everybody that is listening has written that down whilst in the car.
Yeah, every MC, hopefully.
It's just like, yeah, perfect. That makes sense. Okay. So we've got a few different bits to cover.
Okay.
The main theme, though, is community. And the thing that I was thinking is maybe somebody's listening in and they're not quite in the community yet. Maybe they're in the community, they're feeling a bit disconnected. But I don't know. I thought, of all the people, if I was to describe you, I would describe you as that incredible all-star level dancer that sits on the side, violently slapping the ground and then jumping up in the air and screaming at
That's accurate.
everything. I'm not just saying people like awards and things at events, but just like anything that remotely deserves any sort of attention, you're like, yes! So I thought you're the person to interview for that.
Well, thank you. I feel like a silent room is the worst kind of room. You gotta, unless
Yeah.
it's a really intense, beautiful moment, and then snaps.
Yes, and yes,
But
absolutely.
acknowledgement of cool moves.
That is the one thing this podcast is currently missing is a live audience. Next time.
We could go ask a few people.
We could just, yeah, we've got time. We've got
That
so much
hotel guy
time.
was so nice.
I know. For context, the hotel hooked us up with the bridal preparation area, which you can't see because I'm not panning the cameras right now. But it's pretty beautiful and kind of, yeah, it makes me feel like it's my special day.
It is.
Which it clearly
Every
is
day it
because I've got
should.
Casey here.
Every day should feel like your special day, girl.
Yeah. Okay. So you wanted to describe the Minnesota community, firstly.
Yeah.
Can I get you to do that for me?
Absolutely. So Minnesota, I think, has a lot of similar qualities as like the Singapore community, Malaysian community, in terms of being super supportive. So we are loud. We have a lot of loud members. We also have a lot of quiet members, and we have a lot of introverts too. And I think something that the Minnesota community does really well is acknowledge that duality. So at our local dances, we have, the dance going on. There's a side room with puzzles. There, just like at Swingsota, the event, there are friendship bracelets and puzzles and cornhole, and we do everything we can to make sure everyone feels loved and supported and welcome. We have safety procedures in place. Anytime people are at dance events, there's always a huge outpouring of support, both while they are competing and then actively as people are making prelims and semis and finals. I guess everyone makes prelims. Well, you might not. You might run down too late, but as people are making those accomplishments, people who are not even at the events but are stalking Swing Dancer or dance convention and applauding these dancers throughout our community group chats. We've got a community Discord. There's really just no level that the community doesn't go to make sure everyone feels loved and supported.
Wow. Okay, so you might be somebody listening that is in an area where there isn't a big community, so you're looking to establish one. You might be in a community where you're looking to build on your success already, or you might just be an individual that's part of a community and wants to, do that. I mean, were you a community leader? Do you organize events, or are you just a person that turns up and is also full of enthusiasm due to the culture? Like, what would you say your role is in Minnesota at the moment?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think it's important to be a supporter just as much as it is to make change, because even if you're an individual, even if you're brand new to the dance, you can still find ways to make positive impacts on people. Every moment is an opportunity for connection, and throughout my time in Minnesota. I came here 6 years ago and was brand new, didn't know anyone, came to the scene, and the very first day that I was here, the first half of the dance, I didn't know anyone. I was asking a couple people, we danced a little bit, and then in the middle of the dance, there was something called a celebratory jam. And someone else announced that I had just moved to the state, and everyone went, yay! And we have this huge steals dance, and it can be for something as big as moving. It can be for something like I found $5 on the street. Benji Schwimmer reposted my tweet, whatever it is, and people will all celebrate, and then you try and dance with as many people as possible in the Steals Circle Jam, and that made me feel so welcome. And I know that there have been a couple other communities who have adopted like celebration practices because they've been to Swingsota and saw how amazing it was.
Yeah, I was there Wednesday. Strong recommend on celebration dances. Is it celebration dance? Is that what you call it?
Celebration, yeah.
Yeah, because there's birthday dances, which are good. They can sometimes feel a little bit, if you don't get the vibe right, a little bit tortured, a little bit sort of forced, and then a little bit awkward. Yeah. But instead of sort of running around in a circle around people whilst two people dance and then everybody else is watching, and then, you know, maybe it doesn't quite go as you planned, especially if it's every week, celebration dances are well good because you've got, what, like 10, 20 people in the middle basically lined up to do steals, and they don't really need a reason to be there apart from like they've had a good day. So it could be their birthday. Mm-hmm. It could also just be, you know, I think what was a few of them. Oh, I got a role in an acting thing.
Yeah.
You know, oh, I got a day off today. Something along those lines.
It could be as big or small as you want, but if it's your birthday and people don't know that it's your birthday at the birthday jams, right? Then you might be like, oh, it's also my birthday, right? Yep. Whereas this gives people an opportunity to feel comfortable speaking up and saying, hey, I did a thing, I want to celebrate that, and then we all get to join in on that celebration together. Yeah,
totally. So you kind of arrived into the community and it was already set. Do you
Thank
know
you,
much?
Hewley.
So do you think it was basically due to Hugh?
100%.
Yeah.
Hugh and the dancers who have been around in Minnesota for quite some time do such a good job of fostering that in terms of the silliness, in terms of friendship, in terms of making people feel welcome. There was something that we did for a while, which was no one sits twice, 2 songs in a row, like no one sits twice.
Okay, that's cool.
And it was a common thread, especially among the more experienced dancers, that we would go and look for someone who had been sitting down through the previous dance and make sure that we asked them to dance for the next song. And
that's really cool.
Even if that's, you know, everyone comes to the dance and sometimes you've had a bad day, sometimes you need to get your cup filled before you can fill another cup. Totally understand that. But the more that you are seeking for opportunities to try and make someone else's day, I feel like you also end up filling your own cup. Yeah. And I think that's what the community's about.
Yeah, I'm so keen on that. I think there's a lot to do, you know, in terms of mental health movements at the moment. There's a lot of, you know, self-reflection and you know, medications and lots of different practices. And I think a big one is just altruism can go so far. If you just start worrying about other people a little bit more and taking yourself a little bit less seriously and going, you know, I'm just going to work on making sure somebody else's day is doing well, then you'll get that little internal feeling of doing good. And I think you guys crush it. I mean, so for context, we're here at Swingsota in Minnesota, 25th of July.
Can you insert an air horn sound?
Say again?
Can you insert an air horn sound?
No. Wait, I do actually have some buttons that I could press over here. Wait, let me just press that. In fact, I'm not going to press them just in case they kick off and just stay on forever. Okay, so we've got... so Swingsota is absolutely incredible in terms of... I've got a few favourite event directors that I like to go around and work for filming. Hugh is, if not the best, then very much up there on par. And you know what? He's very similar to like Z in terms of the way that he cares. And again, if you look at the Singaporean community and the whole of Asia, really, that is getting involved, they've got this amazing, really hyper positive vibe. And that's not to say it's not a competitive vibe. They're still competing.
Everyone's so good.
They're all so damn good. It's scary. So they're absolutely incredible, and I think Hugh's like absolutely nailed that. So I'd be interested to ask you how that's been, because I know certainly in other countries, in my experience, it's been a lot. There's a lot of communities. There's a bit of strife. There's a bit of fracturing between pros and
or
different communities.
dance
Schools,
studios back and forth.
Yeah, so
We don't have that here.
You don't have that, no?
No, it's actually pretty amazing. At every local dance, both the ones that I run and both the ones that Hugh runs and Joe runs and the Minnesota West Coast Swing Dance Club and the Minnesota Twin City Rebels, like every single dance, we will announce the other dances that are happening in the community.
Yeah.
It's not like, hey, this is my share of the pie. It's, we all love pie.
Right? That's so good. Yeah, I'm such a big fan of... The dance is far too small for us to aggressively compete with each other and take each other down. You got to, if you're like, oh, well, they're taking my students, good. Give them another dance during the week. You know what? They might bring some more friends, and you know what? They might bring some people from over there, and suddenly everybody will be dancing a lot more rather than dancing once a week at your one venue. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Okay, I do have some questions from ChatGPT that I had a little look. So I'll fire through them if some of them are a bit lame. Okay. These are a bit lame. Here we go. When you're cheering for other dancers at events, what goes through your mind?
Before we answer that, I'm so curious what you input to get these questions from ChatGPT. Show me later.
I did a full description of you. I took a photo of you without you looking. I uploaded many videos to do a full analysis. So AI knows you inside out now. So your swing points is on there and everything, man. No, go on. Yeah, go for it.
So what's going through my head when I'm cheering for other people?
Yes.
I think there are two different scenarios. One is where I'm on one side of the audience, and one is where I'm on the other side of the audience.
Okay.
So when I am not in the chairs myself, I am excited to watch and learn and be inspired. I sit on the floor partly because I want to cheer and partly because that's homework for me. I am actively learning. I'm a very visual learner, and so for me, I feel constantly inspired. My best dancing is always right after All-Star Finals, Champs Finals. I want to do all these cool things. I'm just moving in a way that feels more authentic to me, so I love that. But when I'm cheering, I want the dancers to know that what they're doing is amazing. And that little piece of validation goes so far because we all know that the dancers feed off our energy. And a silent ballroom is so hard unless, again, it's like that big, beautiful moment. Everyone is enraptured. But if it's just quiet and you're performing and no one is clapping or cheering, it feels... At least maybe this, I'm speaking for too many people, but for myself, it feels like, oh, I'm not doing this right, or I'm failing, or this is not eliciting the response that it should be since we're doing a performance.
I totally agree. I think the US in general is the best. I mean, Asia now beats it. Australia is also absolutely incredible, but the US is very much next on the list. You go to Europe, very much more, they do sit in awe a lot longer, which for me, I struggle with because I sit there in novice prelims shouting on the side now, and people go, shh. And I'm like, no, they were on time for the one.
They did great.
Yeah, they're like, that wasn't even a phrase change. I'm like, they're still on time, dude, so chill, Okay, next question. Tell us about your very first, in terms of, what time do you need to be going, by the way? 1:45?
We're good. We got a little time.
Okay, tell me about your very first West Coast swing class. What was your experience like?
Oh, okay. So backing up just a hot second, the first time I experienced West Coast swing was on my 18th birthday. Some friends took me East Coast swing dancing. I went home, Googled West Coast swing because they did a demo, and I was like, ooh. Then they're like, that's next week. I found Jordan Tatiana, went down the rabbit hole, stayed up way too late, and went, I'm going to learn that when I go to college.
Sweet.
So I was looking for a class that taught West Coast swing when I stumbled into Texas Ballroom, which is the University of Texas, ballroom and country and social dance and Latin, they just covered everything. Yep. And West Coast. I was like, West Coast, got it, checks the box. And then Sherry Reynolds, who is still around to this day, teaching and doing amazing things, especially for students. She was my very first West Coast swing teacher. She is marginally taller than I am, and is just the sweetest woman that you will meet in your entire life. Like, will give you the shirt off her back, and probably has multiple times.
Wow, that's incredible.
I was amazed. I was like, this is the dance that I want to learn how to do. And I thought I was amazing. I was like, I'm so good at this because I was following, and it was very straightforward in the beginning, and then it got harder.
Yes. Yeah, yes. It does get harder, doesn't it? Okay, so let's say you're a beginner West Coast swing dancer, you're listening to this podcast, and maybe you are listening to Casey going, oh, she sounds like bags of fun, is full of confidence and happiness. Why don't I feel like that? Are there any points in the dance where you have felt, oof, you know what, it is really tough at the moment? And yeah, pretty much every other week, right? That's how I feel. And yeah, how do you sort of cope with that? How do you get through that?
Similar to what you talked about earlier of not taking yourself too seriously. When you go internal, you are focused on, you're like, where's my body in space? What are my feet doing? Am I posturing? Am I where I need to be? Am I doing enough cool things, right? That's all very internal. And then you forget that you are connected to a human at the end of your hand. And so I think anything that reminds you to be more present, which is a hard thing for me. I'm a planner. I live in the future. It is very hard for me to be present. But West Coast Swing is a mindfulness game too.
Right.
So reminding yourself that at the end of the day, you're connecting to another human, and you guys get to create something that has never been done before. Every single dance is going to be a new dance to you.
Okay, you're smashing out the answers today. This is great.
Thank you.
Okay.
Off the dome.
And I've also got a challenge for you at the end. I've got a quick fire challenge just to let you know, so stand by for that one. Okay.
So challenged. We probably have time for like one, maybe two more questions and then challenge.
Okay, yep, absolutely.
Just a heads up.
In fact.
Because I've got to get food for you and the rest of the staff.
Absolutely. Okay, so we've talked about the negatives. Sorry about this.
Yeah, you're fine. You can edit and post.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, okay. So how do you balance being competitive whilst maintaining friendships with other competitors?
Oh, that's so easy.
Great. So good. Okay. Yeah, like, and to expand on that a little bit more, I think there's people that are, rising through the ranks and then thinking, oh, I should teach, but should I teach what I've been learning? And should I give this advice out? And how do I manage, is this more cutthroat than I think it is type thing? My attitude is very much, no, it's not. But I think it's very easy, especially if you rise up through the ranks
first. You absolutely can be.
How do you go for it?
So I think it depends on what your intentions are with the dance and with what you want to do with it, right? So are you doing this for you? Are you doing this because you want to be at a level to be able to teach? Are you doing this because you want to make a permanent impact on the dance? You want to do routines? Like, what is the reason behind why you're dancing, right? And that kind of changes a few different things. I think the easiest way to to balance being competitive with being supportive is remembering that you can be excited about someone else's successes while also still allowing, the disappointment for your own expectations, because at the end of the day, it's all expectations management, right? I think a really dangerous trap is, well, I deserved to be in that finals. You don't deserve anything in this dance, right? Things are going to happen. You are going to do your best. Your best on this point is between the best you could do on this day and the worst you could do on this day. And what you actually do is somewhere in between those, hopefully on the higher side, but you don't know. People talk about, is your best 6 seconds better than everyone's worst 6 seconds? That's from like the judging side of things. But for those who feel the losses intently, right? If you're feeling like if you missed finals, right, and you feel that loss pretty intently, I think it's important to acknowledge that. Don't just compartmentalize and brush past it. Give yourself the moment to feel that because it's valid, and then show up. When you have composed yourself, when you have given yourself that time, then go show up and support the other people in that division. Because there are people that are, like, they're excited about that too, and if you can be excited right along for them, then they're probably going to be right along excited for you.
I totally agree. The thing that I've been doing recently is I'll always pick a few close friends that I'll follow through the prelims. So I'll turn up thinking, I would like to get through prelims, but I would also like X, Y, Z to get through prelims. So when I look at the list, I've at least got somebody to go, yes. So it's quite nice to be able to look at the list and go, yes. And then somebody will go, oh, is your name on the list? And you go, no, it's not. But, you know, Trenton got through. So I'm happy. I'm having a good day. Do you know what I mean?
Do you like betting on horses?
Yeah, I know, exactly. I also put a very large amount of money on Trenton every single week, which is not a bad plan.
It's a good ROI.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, right. So quick fire for you. Yeah? Let's do it.
Sounds good.
Here we go. So I've got a quick fire round.
All right, my brain's ready.
Okay, I'm going to set a timer at the same time. I don't know if I can do this. Right, let's go timer, because I want to see if you've got, let's go clock. I can edit this bad boy out, don't worry.
You're good.
Okay.
I never worry.
That's a lie. That's a lie. Oop. In fact, I'm going to do it on here. Stopwatch. No. Clock, maybe? Clock app. Okay. There we go.
Rapid fire.
No messing. Are you ready?
So ready.
Okay.
Let's go.
3, 2. Wait, that's not right. Okay. And if some of these questions don't make sense, then clarify. Don't worry. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Late night social dancing, Saturday or Sunday?
Sunday. Meet and friends.
Meet and friends, right? Fast or slow music?
Fast. Little legs.
Right. Intricate footwork or smooth body movement?
Smooth body movement.
Okay. Teaching workshops or taking workshops?
Taking workshops.
Okay. Small intimate venues or big convention floors?
I like big convention floors. Everyone you love under one roof.
Okay. Which is more fun? Final question. Spotlight or prelims?
Spotlight.
Okay. 36 seconds. Okay. You're the new record.
Oh, really?
Perfect. Yeah,
gosh.
really good. And then I was doing A or B questions then. And then one final question is, what's one pattern everybody should master first? So you're doing the 5 basics or whatever pattern. What do you think that first pattern is that you need to really master first?
After the basics?
Before, like, the first pattern you need to
first
nail.
one ever?
Yeah. It's a nightmare question. I was like, how do you answer this?
I was like, I had a move for like after the basics. That's the fun one. But so between the basics, honestly, I like sugar tuck the most of the basics.
Yeah.
I think whip is impossible to teach people starting out.
Yeah.
Sugar push makes the most sense. So I think most people start with that, just in like the linear motion. But sugar tuck.
Sugar tuck.
I was like, sugar tuck is fun. It looks cool. If you're just starting out, you want to be able to do a turn. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. I think that's it. That's everything.
All right. Well, thank you for having me, Harold.
Well,
and Affinity
so
Swing
much.
and swing content.
Brilliant. 45 minutes.
I'm swing contented.
Are you so swing content? I'm thinking of turning it from swing content to swing content.
Perfect. Yeah.
Much better, right?
Yeah.
Good. Cool.
Stay content.
Right. Well, thank you for coming. I'm sure we're gonna have a great weekend here at Swingsota.
Woohoo! Come next year.
Right. Yeah. And like invite your mates onto the podcast. We'll get more peeps on. Cool.
Sweet.
All right. Cheers.
Thanks, Harold.
Cool. Cheers. Bye.